Attention passionate Buffalo, BILLSFANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Buffalo Bills' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Buffalo Bills fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Buffalo BILLSFANS. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you're like me, you're always on the edge of your seat waiting for these blockbuster moves, and boy, do we have a doozy this time. Rumors are swirling from pretty reliable sources around the league, echoing what Adam Schefter has been hinting at. And it's all about the Buffalo Bills making a bold, strategic move that might just shake up the entire AFC East. What are we talking about? Well, the Bills are reportedly close to pulling off a trade that involves Rick Woolen, the incredible cornerback from Seattle, heading to Buffalo. Yes, you heard it right. Woolen, the guy who's been turning heads in the league since he was drafted in 2022 out of UTSA, is potentially becoming a Buffalo Bill. And the trade doesn't stop there. The Seahawks, in a move to bolster their own roster, are set to receive a second-round pick in 2026 along with CB Kyer Elam, one of the promising young talents in Buffalo's secondary. It's a trade that looks like it's going to send shockwaves through the division. And fans of the Bills, you need to stay tuned because this could be a game-changer for the team's aspirations in 2024 and beyond. So, let's break down what this really means. The Seahawks, currently sitting at 4-2 and still contenders in the NFC West despite some injury setbacks, are making strategic moves to strengthen their defense and keep pace with the better teams in their conference. With Witherspoon limited by knee issues and Woolen sidelined due to concussion, Seattle's secondary has been a bit vulnerable, especially against the pass. Their pass defense is allowing about 225 yards per game, which puts them somewhere around the 22nd in the league. Not terrible, but certainly room for improvement, especially if they want to push for a deep playoff run. The Seahawks are also dealing with injuries on their front lines, with players like Haynes injured and Jones, ankle question mark, which complicates their ability to be consistent at the line of scrimmage. So acquiring Woolen could be a move to inject speed and ball-hawking ability into their secondary, making life difficult for opponents, and giving them a real shot at contending in the NFC. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. Woolen, drafted in 2022, has rapidly established himself as one of the league's premier young cornerbacks. His stats are eye-popping. In 2025, he's already racked up 18 tackles solo, ranking around 30th among cornerbacks, but what really jumps out are his 2 interceptions, placing him in the top 10 in the league, along with 3 pass deflections. His coverage rating is a stellar 72. 5 putting him in the top 12, and his EPA per target is an elite -0.15, which means he's closing down plays and limiting big gains. PFF has him rated at 84, 2 overall, making him one of the top 15 corners in the league right now. And if you look deeper at his metrics, Woolen is allowing just 2.6 yards after the catch per reception, which is phenomenal, and he's permitting a completion percentage of just 48%, also top in the league. This is a ball hawk with a 15% rate of catching contested balls, and he's allowed just 45% of contested catches, making him a nightmare for quarterbacks trying to throw into his coverage. And let's not forget his performance against the Dolphins in Week 3, where he had an interception, 5 tackles, and a positive EPA per play of +0.16. That's just a glimpse of the kind of impact Woolen can have. His career has been on an upward trajectory since his rookie year, where he's accumulated 150 tackles, 9 interceptions, and 25 pass deflections. His ability to double-team effectively, around 25% of the time, and his maximum speed of 21.8 mph make him a rare talent. Chronic injuries like his concussion cost him a couple of games last season, but when he's healthy, Woolen is a top 8-man coverage winner, allowing a QBR of just 57, 3 when targeted. 0 touchdowns allowed in 2025 so far. It's no wonder that teams are looking to acquire him. The Seahawks, on the other hand, are balancing their ambitions with the risk involved in moving one of their most promising young players. They're still confident about making the playoffs, with plus 4,000 odds to win the NFC West, but by moving Woolen, they're prioritizing depth along their front 7, especially at edge, and giving rookies like Boy Mafe a chance to develop. Now, for the Bills, this move is nothing short of strategic genius. Adding Woolen to their secondary could elevate their entire pass defense from the current 22nd ranking, which allows 225 passing yards per game, to a much more formidable unit that could give opponents fits. Imagine Woolen shadowing the best receivers, his elite ball skills limiting big gains, and his ability to shut down passing lanes. His projected impact could be an additional 8 interceptions over the course of the season, a significant boost. This would translate into forcing more turnovers and giving Josh Allen and the Bills' offense more opportunities to score. Currently, Buffalo's pass defense is giving up about 225 yards per game, but with Woolen's addition, experts estimate that number could drop to around 190 yards, vastly improving their efficiency, an 18% increase in coverage effectiveness. And if you compare Woolen to Benford, another key player in the secondary, the difference becomes even clearer. Woolen tends to give receivers about 1/6 more yards of separation, but his deflection rate jumps by 20%. That means more disrupted passes and fewer completions, which is exactly what the Bills need. On the offensive side, with Oliver rushing the passer and having already recorded 5 sacks in 2025, the Bills' pressure up front should also help Woolen's new teammates. The secondary, with an adjusted PFF grade jumping from 83 to over 87, could be a top 10 unit in the league, and that gives the Bills a real shot at contending deep into the playoffs. Allen, who has thrown for over 600 yards with 12 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions this season, could benefit immensely from a secondary that's more aggressive and more capable of shutting down the opposition's best options. The red zone efficiency, which is currently at 60%, could improve to around 75%, especially when facing divisional rivals like the Dolphins, who are allowing just 130 yards per game, but struggle against defenses that can lock down their receivers and limit big plays. Now, let's talk about the big picture. These moves could dramatically alter the Bills' Super Bowl odds. Currently, they're sitting at plus 1,500, but with the addition of Woolen, some experts believe that number could plummet to around plus 700, making them a more dangerous contender. The AFC as a whole is still highly competitive, with the favorites like Kansas City and Cincinnati holding the top spots, but the Bills' upgraded secondary could be the X-factor that pushes them over the edge. Woolen's ability to shadow deep threats, especially against speedster receivers like Hill, could be a game-changer in the playoffs. And if we look at the defense as a whole, the projected plus 25% increase in defensive EPA versus deep routes means the Bills could be much more capable of containing high-powered offenses, which is crucial when facing the best teams in the league. This entire scenario points to a bold, visionary move by the Bills' front office, recognizing that to contend for a Super Bowl, they need to make aggressive upgrades. Woolen, with his elite coverage skills and ball skills, could be that missing piece that elevates their defense from good to great. Meanwhile, the Seahawks are adjusting to their own realities, balancing their playoff hopes with the need to develop their roster, and this trade exemplifies the strategic chess game that is NFL front office management. It's a move that could benefit both teams. Seattle gets draft capital and a young promising corner, while Buffalo gains a lockdown defender who could be instrumental in their Super Bowl quest. And now, Buffalo Bills fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential blockbuster? Are you excited about Woolen joining the team? Do you think this move puts the Bills at the top of the AFC contenders? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Buffalo Bills as a whole. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with even more updates, so stay tuned for all the latest Buffalo Bills news. This is the kind of move that could define the season, and we'll be right here to analyze every detail with you. Thanks for sticking with us, and as always, go Bills.